How the hell did you get in my house?
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Is what?
You know, the...
No. We are never doing that.
No, the thing!
Oh, the thing. Why didn't you say so? Hold on. Here it is. Is this what you're looking for?
I'll send for you!
Huh. I guess he's gone. I must embark on a perilous quest to the mailbox. It's raining, it's cold, and I might not make it back alive. If I don't see any of you again, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, will you just stop being a pansy and get on with it?
I have returned from my perilous quest, unscathed. No dragon showed up in my driveway. The rain was relentless. I know my hair looks perfect, but it stopped. Now let's see what the mail has for us today. Let's see, bills, jury duty. Aha! It's finally arrived.
Hello?
It is time.
You're going to have to be more specific than that. Hello, and welcome to Raging Glory. As always, I'm Colby Colbert.
And I'm Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
The hell's wrong with you? I've been making all these weird references all day.
Eric, you don't understand. We are on a quest.
You can quest for a lot of things, and I have the feeling this is not a space quest.
We must throw this game into the fiery depths of Mount Doom where such a game was birthed.
We're playing that crappy Lord of the Rings game again? Ugh. Better get my kilt.
And besides, we really don't have a choice. It keeps reappearing on my desk, and besides, my flash drive's stuck in there.
I hope you're talking about the game and not my kilt. Well, you better explain it to the good people out there who are thankful enough not to play this game.
We must go back to 2002, where somebody thought it would be a great idea to make a video game purely out of the Fellowship of the Ring. Tolkien Entertainment, with the help of Vivendi and developed by WXP Games, decided to make their adaptation of the first book into a game, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. And it sucked! One might mistake this game as the first in the license-based games by EA, but that, my brothers and sisters of Elendil, is not the case. The Fellowship was released 1 month before EA's Two Towers, and Fellowship wasn't based off the movies like Two Towers, but rather the book, and it definitely suffered for that.
However, this is the only game for the Fellowship of the Ring, so we might as well review it.
Eric, thank you for coming up for this journey.
Dude, the trip just to get to your house was like 13 hours. This quest better be worth it.
What are you doing in there anyway? You've been in there forever.
I haven't worn this costume in like 7 years. I had to make some major alterations to it.
Jeez, I wonder if Frodo Baggins had this problem.
Alright, I'm ready to quest.
Dude, where are your pants?
It's a kilt. You're not supposed to wear pants.
Are you wearing underwear under there?
Define underwear.
Whatever. We must make haste. We have a long journey ahead of us. Bye, Mom. We'll be back for lunch.
Alright, so where is this Mount Doom?
In the dark lands of Mordor, where innumerable dark creatures lurk, more terrible than anything, waiting to lure an unsuspecting traveler.
Alright, so how far of a walk is it to Mordor?
You simply can't just walk to Mordor!
Siri, how far of a walk is it to Mordor?
It's a 20-minute walk to Mordor.
Suck it.
Okay, Siri, how far is it if we take a bus?
It's a 3-day drive.
Damn you, traffic.
Alright, so we travel by foot. Pack only the necessities, as we have a long journey ahead of us.
Do we need one of our iPods or both?
With the battery life of those things, we should probably bring them both. And besides, we would be lost without the YouTube to guide us.
Alright.
So we start the game, and Gandalf is telling Frodo that he needs to go on his mission, and that'll come back in 3 months' time to go on this great journey.
And the asshole is late and didn't even send a letter, so bullocks to him, Frodo will go without him.
I do have to agree with you here, Eric. Gandalf can throw out any excuse he wants, but the man is never on time to anything. I guess when you're that important, though, you can show up whenever the hell you want.
So we start our great adventure, not with swords, but with the debate of deed ownership. Okay, maybe it's because I never read the books or seen the movies, but why the hell is selling the Shire that big of a plot point? Why even sell the Shire? If there are gardeners in Hobbiton, why aren't there housekeepers?
Well, even I don't have a defense for this. I mean, sure, the Shire was the start of each quest. The only angle you can look this from is from the hero's journey. By selling the Shire, Frodo is essentially cutting all ties to his old life and beginning a new one. After this is done, he can then cross the threshold and begin his quest. We see this with Bilbo as well in The Hobbit. He can't stand the thought of leaving his house, and it takes a lot of convincing to get him to leave.
Well, that's just stupid. Why didn't Bilbo have to sell his house then?
Well, I guess we should just be glad they cut the bullshit in this game and you just have to sell his house. Hole? Whatever you want to call it.
I guess, but in a game about high myth and adventure, I'm expecting swordplay, not property retail. There's an entire mission where we must go to Frodo's aunt, do something for her so that way she will at least listen to us, talk to them about selling the deed, then we gotta go all the way back to the Shire, find the deed, and go all the way back to the aunt. And let's not forget that we must sit through a combined total of 4 loading screens to do this one thing. This is what we like to call padding.
It's never too early to learn about property and family problems.
So after that malarkey, as well as some other missions that just don't make sense, we finally have everything we need to go on the journey. We go to the next segment where we have these weird Dementor guys on horses.
They are called the Dark Riders, you mortal.
Here's the other thing. This game is a lot like Half-Life, as in there are no autosaves and that you must save your game after you complete anything. I know this because playing the game the first time, I died here and I got a game over and realized I wasn't going to have to go through the entire beginning malarkey all over again because there was no save data!
Anyway, make it back to the Night Riders, and we now know don't take the main paths. Climb the hills until we get to Hobbiton.
And with that, let's talk about level design. And when I say that, I mean complete lack thereof. Look at this! Where am I supposed to go? There's no pathways, maps, or compasses, and now I'm lost. My Sims has better level design than this. What is this, WXP's first game? Oh. Well, that makes sense.
Okay, so as much of a die-hard fan as I am, I must give you this. The level design is non-existent. Let's compare a similar game that it should have been like, The Legend of Zelda. Usually in a game, designers map out how each level will work, strategically planning enemies, obstacles, and walls and corridors in order to enclose the player for tight combat, but open enough to give the player a sense of freedom for adventuring. This game is more like, let's create our plane, put a tree here, a few hills there, a single house, and done, level design.
Well, let's get a move on. There is story page narration that had more charm in Shrek. The Lollipop Guild here thinks that we should take a shortcut to avoid the Dark Riders. To the shock of all the 2-year-olds in the audience, they get lost in the woods. So we must find the crew in this woods.
By the way, the not knowing where we're going rant is most prevalent here.
Alright, so we find Merry, Pippin, and Sam, all while finding, good God, giant spiders! I'm supposed to fight that with a walking stick? Nope, 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 nope! Time to...
We ran away.
I didn't! Oh my god, that actually worked.
So, as it turns out, you don't need to fight anything in this game. You can outrun everything in this game. Like, seriously, everything.
Eventually, we run to a tree that makes Pippin, Mary, and Sam fall asleep. Why? Because the tree wants to eat us.
And this is the first boss battle, which you would think would be similar to the tree from Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets, but it's more like this.
Thou shalt perish under my might!
Tree? Get him! Get him! Why are you allowing him to attack you? Strafe left!
I can't!
Then strafe right!
No, I can't! There's no strafe button!
No strafe? Oh god, we'll dodge then!
I can't dodge!
Roll away?
Roll!
Jump across!
The jump's really vertical! Ah!
For the love of all things holy, why these controls? Frodo moves like a freaking tank, which doesn't work here.
Why tank controls work in Resident Evil is because guns are a long-range weapon, meaning you don't have to get up close to your target. With melee combat, however, you have no choice but to get up close. But that means that you have to get close to the enemy. You better have at least a passable control scheme.
Now those health mushrooms everywhere make sense in this game.
Hey Frodo, do you mind sharing some of those shrooms of yours? Because we're going to need them to get through this game of yours.
So we defeat the boss, and then we come to this guy, Tom Bombadil.
You let them out again, old man Willow. You should not be waking. Eat earth, drink water, go to sleep. Bombadil is talking.
Who's this drunken buffoon? Is he part of the adventure? I hope not. So as far as I can tell, this guy has no point in the story whatsoever. Also, his wife, sister, cousin, whatever, is voiced by Lil from Rugrats.
Tom was here before the river and the trees. Tom remembers the first raindrop, the first big people, and the first little people.
So from now on, I'm just going to call these guys Bomba Phil and Bomba Lil.
So Bombadil lets us sleep for a night, and the next night, Frodo loses his friends. Again.
Maybe Frodo should invest in a child leash.
Frodo then comes upon a monster, and then Bombadil comes back, defeats the monster from his drunken singing, and then is never mentioned in the entire story again.
A true Shakespearean character.
So, we finally make it to Bree, and we enter the Prancing Pony. Apparently Frodo was supposed to come there earlier, but the letter Gandalf sent to the innkeeper was never sent to Frodo.
I don't buy that.
Pardon? I don't buy that. I mean, why would Gandalf send a letter to the busy innkeeper so he can mail it to Frodo? There's obviously some sort of Middle-earth postage system. Why did Gandalf have to give it to the innkeeper then? He could have just sent it to the mailman and then give it to Frodo. He would have gotten it either way. You know what? I don't think it's that simple. I think Gandalf gave it to the innkeeper so that way he could back off the fact that Gandalf screwed up.
Never question the logic of this franchise again.
Ow!
So we enter the bar, but Pippin starts blabbering his mouth about the ring. Frodo distracts everyone by singing.
There is an inn, a merry old inn, beneath an old grey hill.
That
And they make a
hurt.
stew so brown that
That
the man
voice
in the moon
acting
himself
physically
flew down.
hurt.
So we meet Aragorn, and we come to the conclusion that the Dark Riders are going to ambush the hobbits. So Aragorn has decided to get the pieces for mannequins.
Finally, we can play as a cool character now. Aragorn is the freaking best. I feel betrayed.
Why does a 6-foot scout with a sword and a bow feel the exact same to control as a 3-foot hobbit with a stick?
So, Aragorn makes the mannequins, and the Night Riders go to ambush them, stabbing at the sheets without looking under them.
Shouldn't we be checking to see if the hobbits are dead?
Why? We're not getting paid for this. Besides, how hard is it to kill a hobbit anyway? They're tiny.
Alright, George. Gee, you're smart.
So the next day we follow Aragorn, and we decide to take his shortcuts because...
My shortcuts don't go wrong.
Newsflash! He lies. We fight orcs and then a giant troll, and everything is more the same.
when it comes to this game, They really don't believe in the whole variety is the spice of life thing, huh?
So after the whole Weathertop Mountain thing, to summarize, Frodo ends up getting stabbed by the Witch King and passes out after an elf by the name of Glorfindel appears and sends Frodo away on his horse. Frodo then wakes up in the elven city of Rivendell.
And it is here that we get to meet up with Gandalf again.
Oh, Frodo, I see you made it safely to Rivendell.
That's for not sending the letter sooner. That's for everything else.
So essentially in Rivendell, the only important thing that really happens is the Council of Elrond. And Frodo gets the sword sting and a shirt of mithril mail from Bilbo, who is also staying at Rivendell. Arwen also gives Aragorn the sword Anduril, and that's really about it.
So next you head to Moria and finally get to play as Gandalf. Most would think this is going to be sweet, but really it's just meh. At this point it's not worth going over the middle part, so let's just get to the climax.
Wish Tolkien adopted that idea.
So the Balrog drags Gandalf into the pit. Yay! After Aragorn fights a dragon.
That's a Oh, who cares at this point?
The Fellowship defeats it, and then we see some lady looking to a reflecting water dish, and the game ends.
I told you it'd be faster just to go straight to Mount Doom.
Yeah, but don't you think we should have helped those guys back there?
Nah, they look like they had it under control. So, any last words you want to say before we throw this game into the volcano?
Simply put, the game tries so hard to be accurate to the story that the devs overlook a simple aspect that would have made this game good. Fun!
Clunky controls, lack of an autosave, no level design. This game's just bad. I don't have to read the books to know that this game sucks.
Now we must find a way to throw this game into the fiery depths of the volcano without becoming corrupted by the...
Well, that was easier than expected.
Alright, let's go get lunch.
Oh, no. What is it?